Have you ever tried to save money this only to fail again and again? Maybe you swore this month would be different, but by the time your next paycheck came in, your bank account was already drained. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you something important. It's not your fault. Most people struggle with saving not because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because they've been using the wrong approach. And here's the good news. Science has already figured out why saving feels so hard and what you can do to flip the script. Hi, I'm David, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 6 proven strategies that will help you save your first $10,000 faster without relying on willpower alone and without feeling like you're constantly depriving yourself. If you stick with me until the end, you'll not only learn the tactics, but also understand the psychology behind why they work. And that knowledge is what makes the difference between people who give up and people who actually succeed. So let's get into it. Strategy number 1, the Ulysses contract. This is one of the oldest but most powerful psychological tricks in the book. The idea comes from Greek mythology. Ulysses knew that when his ship passed the sirens, their song would be impossible to resist. So what did he do? He ordered his crew to tie him to the mast and ignore his commands until the danger had passed. That's the same principle you can apply to saving money. Because the truth is, your future self is terrible at resisting temptation. That's why you add things to your cart when you're bored, buy gadgets you never use, or fall into the just this once trap every time. The way out? Set traps for your future self. Hey? Internal friction. Make it harder to spend on impulse. Some people literally freeze their credit card in a block of ice. Want to buy something? You'll have to wait until it thaws. Others delete shopping apps from their phones so they can't buy with one click. These little barriers force you to pause, and often that pause is enough to kill the urge. External friction. Get someone else involved. I once gave a signed $50 check to a friend and told her she could cash it if I broke my own spending rules. Do you think I slipped up? Not a chance. The thought of losing that money kept me in check. Here's the psychology behind it. When you make spending inconvenient, you give your brain time to process the decision rationally instead of emotionally. And the longer you wait, the less powerful the temptation becomes. So the first step to saving $10,000 faster is this. Don't just depend on discipline. Discipline fails. Instead, build systems that make it harder for you to sabotage yourself. So once you've made it harder for yourself to spend money impulsively, the next step is to actually make saving effortless. And here's the truth. If your system depends on you making the right decision every single time, you're going to lose because no matter how motivated or disciplined you feel right now, life is stressful. After a long day at work, when your brain has made thousands of tiny decisions, what emails to answer, what tasks to prioritize, even what to eat for lunch, you experience what psychologists call decision fatigue. And when decision fatigue kicks in, your brain just wants the easiest option. That's why you order takeout instead of cooking. That's why you accidentally overspend on Amazon. And that's why your money goals fall apart by the end of the month. So how do you beat this? By setting up an automated money system. What is an automated money system? Think of it like a network of pipes. Every time you get paid, the money flows automatically into the right places without you even touching it. That way, you don't have to rely on discipline because the decision is already made before temptation even has a chance. Here's a simplified version of how mine works. The moment my paycheck lands, a portion automatically goes into my pre-tax retirement accounts, 401k, IRA, whatever applies to you. The rest flows into what I call my command center account. From there, smaller sub-accounts automatically take their share. For example, a savings account for emergencies, another one for specific goals like travel or a new car, and yes, even a fun money account because you still need to enjoy life. My bills and subscriptions are paid automatically with my credit card, and that card is paid off each month by the command center account. Here's the key. Once you set it up, the system runs in the background. You only spend what's left over in your spending bucket, so you never have to worry about accidentally dipping into your savings. Why this works? When your savings happen on autopilot, it removes two huge barriers: willpower. You don't need it anymore. The system makes the choice for you. Forgetfulness. Even if you're busy, tired, or distracted, your money is still moving in the right direction. I'll be honest, when I first set up my system, I didn't think it would make a huge difference, but within just a few months, I noticed something shocking. I was saving more money than ever before, and I barely noticed the change in my lifestyle. It didn't feel restrictive, it didn't feel hard, it just worked. A quick example for you, y'alls. Let's say you get paid $2,500 every 2 weeks. Instead of manually trying to save, you could have $500 automatically moved to your savings account, $300 into retirement, $100 into a fun goal account. The rest covers bills and living expenses. Do that consistently, and not only do you save without thinking, but you also avoid the guilt and second guessing that comes with, should I save or spend this? Why most people fail. Without this, most people try to save after they've already spent. That's backwards. By the time you get to the end of the month, the money is gone. With automation, you flip it. You save first, spend second. And here's the best part. Once you've lived with an automated money system for a while, it stops feeling like a sacrifice. It becomes your new normal. So you've set up Friction to slow down your spending and you've automated your savings. But there's still one giant problem standing in your way: impulse purchases. So, and trust me, you're not alone. Studies show the average person spends around $3,300 a year on impulse buys, and nearly half of those purchases end in regret. That's thousands of dollars leaving your account for stuff you probably don't even use after a couple of weeks. So why does this happen? It's because of a chemical in your brain called dopamine, the feel-good chemical. Every time you anticipate buying something, your brain gives you a hit of dopamine. Notice I said anticipate. Most of the pleasure isn't from owning the item. It's from the excitement leading up to it. That's why new things lose their shine so quickly. Strategy number 3, the 30-day rule. The best way to beat your own brain at this game is to delay the purchase long enough for the dopamine rush to fade, and that's where the 30-day rule comes in. Here's how it works. Anytime you want to buy something that's not essential, don't buy it immediately. Instead, write it down on a list called not now but later, then wait 30 days. If after 30 days you still really want it, go ahead and buy it. What usually happens by day 10 or 15, you'll look at that list and realize you don't even care about half the stuff you wrote down. That's money you just saved without feeling like you're depriving yourself. For me, this was a game changer. I once wanted this fancy water seltzer machine, added it to the list, waited, and by day 20 I realized I didn't actually want it. That's $150 that stayed in my account instead of collecting dust on my kitchen counter. Strategy number 4, the 1-to-1 rule. Now, sometimes you do need to buy something. Your shoes are worn out. Your winter coat doesn't fit anymore. Your laptop dies. You can't avoid those. But here's how to make sure you don't turn needs into excuses for overconsumption. The 1-to-1 rule is simple. Only buy something new if it's replacing something old. If possible, buy it secondhand first, because vintage or older products are often built better and cost less. And when the new item comes in, the old one has to go. Sell it, donate it, recycle it, just don't let it pile up. Here's a personal example. I once bought a $400 winter coat online thinking it would be amazing. But when it arrived, it was paper thin and felt cheap. Later, I walked into a thrift shop and found a 100% wool vintage coat for $12, and it's still the warmest thing I own. That's the power of the 1-to-1 rule. And here's another bonus tip. If you've lived perfectly fine without something until now, chances are you don't actually need it. That's a sign to wait. By combining the 30-day rule with the 1-to-1 rule, you'll drastically reduce impulse spending. And when you cut back on impulse spending, you free up hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year to go straight into savings. By now, you've seen how to add friction to your spending, automate your savings, and outsmart impulse purchases. But here's the truth. Saving money isn't a one-time thing. It's a long-term game. And if you don't keep track of your progress, it's way too easy to slip back into old habits without even realizing it. That's where the money map and the quarterly audit come in. Strategy number 5, build a money map. A money map is basically a visual of where every single dollar you earn actually goes, because most people think they know where their money is going, but when they really sit down and look, they're shocked. Here's how to make one. At the top, write down your total monthly income. Then break it down into categories: rent/mortgage, groceries, utilities, transportation, subscriptions, eating out, savings, investments, etc. Add up the numbers and see where your money is really flowing. When you do this, patterns start to pop out. Maybe you're spending $250 a month on takeout without realizing it. Maybe your subscriptions are eating $100 a month. Once you see the leaks, you can plug them. Like, your money map is like turning on the lights in a messy room. You finally see what you're dealing with. Strategy number 6, the quarterly audit. Now, a map is great, but life changes. Maybe you got a raise. Maybe your bills went up. Maybe you've been overspending in little ways that add up. That's why every 3 months I run a quarterly audit on my finances. Here's my exact process. I pull up the last 90 days of bank and credit card statements. I categorize every expense and compare it to my money map. I ask myself, where did I overspend? What categories crept up? What can I cut or renegotiate? Sometimes I'll catch small leaks, like a subscription I forgot to cancel. Other times I'll notice lifestyle creep sneaking in, where I'm spending more just because I can. The audit resets me, making sure my money is still serving my goals, not the other way around. Bonus trick: habit stacking. Now, all of this sounds great, but how do you make sure you actually stick with these habits long term? That's where habit stacking comes in. Habit stacking is when you attach a new habit to something you already do automatically. For example, every time you make coffee in the morning, take 30 seconds to check your spending tracker. Every time you pay a bill, transfer $50 into savings. Every time you get paid, update your money map before doing anything else. By stacking small financial habits onto routines you already do, you turn saving into something automatic and effortless. Over time, those small actions snowball into massive results. So let's recap the 6 proven ways to save $10,000 faster. Add friction to your spending. Automate your money system. Use the 30-day rule to fight impulses. Follow the 1-to-1 rule for intentional buying. Build a money map. Run quarterly audits and stack habits. If you put even 2 or 3 of these into practice, you'll be shocked at how quickly your savings grow. And if you use all 6, you might just hit $10,000 saved way faster than you ever thought possible. Now, here's my challenge for you. Which of these 6 strategies are you going to start with today? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see where you're starting from. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical money strategies, and share this with someone who's trying to save but feels stuck. You never know who might need that extra push. Remember, saving money isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. Every dollar you keep is a step closer to freedom.